Hold the line, hold the line. Gold and silver have some crucial price levels that they cannot go under. We'll also take a look at platinum as well. This is your weekly technical analysis brought to you by Ainslie Bullion and the Gold and Silver Standard. My name's Joe. What I'll get you to do is use the time codes below to click to your favorite metal. We'll start with gold, then do silver, then do platinum. Looking at gold here on the weekly time frame, it's priced in US dollars, a little bit under 1,950 US dollars right now. We're using the tradingview.com website. Pop on our indicators. Let's look at it straight away. Of course, a couple of weeks ago, we missed last week's technical analysis, but a couple of weeks ago, it was entitled, Are You Buying the Gold and Silver Dip? Are you buying the gold and silver dip? We have dipped since last week, $1,964 back then. Are you buying now? Are you a buyer? Post a comment below, let me know. Or are you dollar cost averaging, of course. But we were here in 1964. I was talking about the price of 1,960. We really needed to hold that, or else if we didn't, down we go. And so far we have. Now, the big crucial line right here, and you can see it, I think, very, very easily. Of course, we came down to this 1800, 1810 level. We did finally break out of this downtrend line right here. We did pop a possible triple top. I don't think it's a triple top just yet, but possible right there. And we did make an all-time high, technically at 2,080 US dollars. And I have been saying for a little bit now, a number of weeks, that more often than not, you come back to visit a particular downtrend line after breaking out of it. And we have come down to it so far. Haven't hit it just yet, technically, $1,930 roughly, but we didn't hit it. This is the absolute line in the sand. We did break below through that 1960 level. This has to hold. Absolutely has to hold, must. So that's around about at this time, at this point right here, around about 1,920 US dollars. That happens to coincide with this level right here, and it also happens to coincide with the big all-time high a while ago, back in 2011, right there, around about 1,920. So that level, 1920, or basically wherever this hits, has to hold, absolutely. Breaking down below this downtrend line would signal to me that quite potentially we're looking at a head and shoulders pattern. That's the shoulder right there. That's the head right there. Breaking below 1920, if we come down to, say, the 1875 mark, and then if we bounce back up, that's a possible, definitely not 100%, but a possible setup for a head and shoulders pattern. So you just have to bear that in mind. Definitely not saying it's going to happen, but I just really want to see this hold as support for gold. And last week, has anything changed for me in terms of the upper limits? No, not really. I still have this trend line right here going through the old high of 1920 and through the more recent high of that 2070 level. And it just depends on when it hits. So I would expect it to be an area of resistance right here, around about your $2,120 to $2,130 level. Although bear in mind, it depends on when that hits. So for example, if this is the top for a little bit and good number of weeks, and we do come down to 1920 and it acts as support, hopefully, fingers crossed, and then we're just slowly tracking up over the next number of weeks, possibly towards the end of the year. It's still around that kind of area. So it's around your 2120 to 2140 would be the area of resistance. So I will stick to that. Let's say 2120 to 2140 would be another slight area of resistance, because this takes us all the way to the end of the year if we do see a protracted consolidation period and then finally break through. As I said, don't think it's necessarily a triple top just yet. I don't think we can call that. Have to see this 1920 hold. And if we do come down to here and that happens, just be aware again, possible head and shoulders, and that means possible lower prices. But in general, still positive for the price of gold. Just got to stay above that key level of 1920, in my humble opinion. Let's go to silver, because silver has a similar line in the sand right here, and you can see it right here. We have broken back out. So what happened is symmetrical triangle pattern. This is going back until it started occurring. Where are we? The start of it, you would call it this point and this point maybe. So that's 2021. Symmetrical triangle, spent a long time in there. came back out, broke out the resistance point of 26, very, very infamous level that I've been speaking out for many, many months now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, and I know I repeat myself a lot, but we get a lot of new subscribers every week, excuse me, these days. So I have to reiterate, 26, look at that huge line in the sand going back to 2011, massive support level, never thought it would break. And then it did. Then we spent a lot of time under 26, 1, 2, 3, 4 times failure to break above 26 and hold above it for a long period of time. It was usually no more than a couple of months that it spent over 26. Back down, and a big resistance point, as I thought it would be, has indeed been a resistance point. We've got to break out of it. What happened was, in the last last couple of weeks, we broke back down through this downtrend line. I had been talking about this area here of between 22 to 22.50, that it needed to hold. So far it has held. We found support at around about $22.75. Luckily, so far, we've broken back out of this symmetrical triangle pattern, and we have retested it so far. And you can see that very, very clearly. A real clear and clean retest right there on the weekly time frame. Let's take a look at it on the daily. Very, very clean breakout and a retest. This is the level we absolutely have to hold, and I'm going to call it, depends on when it, it depends because it's a downtrend line, so the price is moving down, but around about your 23.50, call it, roughly. So got to hold above 23.50. If we head back down into this symmetrical triangle pattern in the next couple of weeks, I am not confident as much. I'd say the line in the sand for me would be at the bottom of this this bottom rectangle right here. So no lower than 23.20, I'm going to say. If we break below there, then I'm going to suggest that we're in a similar head and shoulders potential. Shoulder right here, head right there, back down below here, below 23.20, and if we close sort of anywhere down here, I'm going to suggest, that's a possible right shoulder, and then lower prices would be coming. Really need to see it hold this downtrend line, this part of it from the symmetrical triangle breakout right there at around your 23.50 level. That is silver for me, and until we break and hold above for, I would say, more than 2 months, so more than 8 weeks consecutively, until we break out of 26 and then hold it for at least 8 weeks, for me, I'm not calling higher prices for silver for this year just yet. Now, what we have done is we have projected forward what would be the most realistic silver price target if we do continue, the bull run from here. If we do hold this and then break 26 and then continue up, what's the most realistic price target for 2023? And I will keep it there at the moment. For me, it's somewhere between 37 to 40 US dollars. That's the most realistic price target. I don't think we'd get anywhere up until to the 48s and the 50s and the previous all-time highs. We do have a couple of levels to break through. Your $30 level right here is a big one. Also this Fibonacci level of $31.30, but that 37 to 40, next most realistic if we continue this bull run from here. Just really got to stay above this downtrend line, in my humble opinion. So this head and shoulders pattern does not play out. That is silver. Let's take a look at platinum. Oh, platinum. Unfortunately, so far, man, it's really got to hold. It's really got to hold this level here of $1,960. I'm going to call it not 1,960, 960 US dollars. It's really got to hold this area right here. Unfortunately, for those new to the platinum price, let me show you again. Regular subscribers have seen this a number of times, but for the newbies, right here, long-term downtrend line going back to February of 2008. Right there, all the way down. It took a very long time. It made a test here, another test here in 2013. So that was the beginning of the downtrend line right there. Spent many years. Here in February of 2021, made its first attempt to break out. It broke out. It then held. It made a second attempt to break out, but then it absolutely failed. And then we spent some time back underneath this long-term downtrend line. We came back to try it once. So that was a failed move here to hold for a significant period of time. A failed move to break out. A third failed move, a breakout, but it didn't hold. A fourth breakout, it didn't hold. And I thought this was going to be the time. I really did. I thought fifth time's a charm, and it was looking good because we broke above this old breakout right here. So we broke above here of 1,100 US dollars. We broke above, we had a high of 1,130 roughly. And no, it's just now broken back down. So I kind of have to remain, based on the technicals here, I have to go back to say 50-50 or intermediate or unknown at this stage. I was bullish for platinum, but I have to base it on the technicals at the moment, just purely based on the technicals and not the fundamentals. We have broken back down this trend line, in particular the long-term downtrend line from February 2008, and we're back in this window. It's frustrating, but 960, got to hold that absolutely, or else I'm saying we're going to break this line and then we're back down here and back down here and back down here. So sort of indeterminate at this stage. But if we do hold 960 and we break back out of this long-term downtrend line, then your next level, as I've been speaking about, is around about 1,200 to sort of 1,170 to 1,200 US dollars is that rectangular box right there. That's the next level of resistance. And of course, you can see the big next level of resistance after that at $1,330. But we've got to hold that 960, breaking below 960. And again, we're talking in sort of months now, not days and weeks. You have, I would say, this next trend line here at 900. That's a big significant support level. That would be the next big one. If we break 960, this kind of purple box, you're heading down to 900. But that remains to be seen at the moment. That is gold, silver, and platinum. Sorry, platinum people, but it depends on your perspective. If you are looking to load up because you believe platinum is going to go great guns over the next few years, 5, 10 years, etc., and you're a long-term investor, which most investors are or should have that kind of mindset over the long term, then maybe this is a great dip buying opportunity. Do you agree with that? Is it a good dip buying opportunity? Post a comment below and let me know what you think about platinum. And similarly, do the same for silver and gold. Do you think it's a good dip buying opportunity, or are you waiting for lower prices? If you are, post a comment below. Let us know what those prices are, because we'd like to see your opinion too. What I'd love you to do, please, is like this video. Please share it around. And of course, hit the subscribe button to join us here on Ainslie for the wide range of informational videos we do 5, 6, 7 days a week. Of course, our weekly spotlights, our informational videos are fantastic that we do every single week. Of course, our 2 or 3 gold, silver standard insights videos where we do interviews and we break down the morning's news. And of course, our specials of the week every single week. You've got to check out those. And the live show now that we do every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. with me. We talk about a specific topic, then we do some show and tell, and then we answer your questions at the end. So Ainslie Live every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Join us then as well. Please like, share, subscribe, balance your wealth in an unbalanced world. Take care, and we'll see you next time.